A Lot Like Love, released in 2005, ran 1 hour 47 minutes. The movie starts with the text 7 years ago. Ashton Kutcher is getting dropped off at the airport by his sister. He is not a fan of her driving. He sees Amanda Peet fighting with her boyfriend, who is also dropping her off at the airport. While inside the airport, we see her catch him looking at her, very clearly. He is a fan. While on the plane, a drink gets dropped on Kutcher. When he is in the bathroom, Pete knocks on the door. He thinks it might be the flight attendant who spilled the drink, and he says that he's fine, but not continue. So he opens the door to say that he's fine to the flight attendant, only it's Amanda. She's here to make a move. Then the title pops up. Time for that awkward aftermath. Ashton's smile at baggage claim feels so genuine. He says, "I'm Oliver." She replies, "Our little secret is ruined." Outside the airport, Amanda Peet lights a cigarette while she smokes. Oliver asks what Bon Jovi does. Amanda doesn't get the reference, so he says, "Your boyfriend." She says, "Ex-boyfriend. He plays guitar." Oliver says, "Everyone plays guitar." So she asks the very logical question, "You play guitar?" After Oliver says no, she says, "Strike two." Strike two? What was strike one? Oliver talks to himself as if she is asking him questions. He is a very kind dude. These two work very well together. Pete asks what his sign is, and when Oliver says cancer, she says strike three. As she exits the airport transport, like train, tram thing, she says it's Emily, and he says, "I'd have never guessed Emily." She then tells Oliver, "Don't get mugged." Outside the airport, Oliver's brother, Graham, has a sign that says "loser" on it. Graham is deaf, and when Oliver meets Carol, Graham's girlfriend, he starts signing to her, assuming that she is also deaf. She isn't. When next we see Emily, she is at a tombstone. This is why she came to New York from LA, to speak with her mother. The soundtrack is so good at taking me back in time. We see Oliver try on a jacket on the street, and the jacket he was wearing gets taken. It's not exactly getting mugged, but it's that style of the idea where she said, "Don't get mugged," and so it's fun. As he is walking around, Oliver sees a guitar shop, but doesn't go inside. He then spots Emily smoking. They make small talk. Then Emily's dad interrupts with his new woman. Emily lies to her dad about needing to go with Oliver to a doctor's appointment to get test results back. Oliver hates that he met her dad with a lie. Emily and Oliver have a great back and forth nature to how they speak, very playful with each other. She clarifies that she'd never be into him, and Oliver says that he wants to get all of his ducks in a line before he worries about a girlfriend. Oliver and Emily go to a bar, end up making a bet for 50 big ones that in 6 years, Oliver will have his dream job with his dream girl at his dream house. He gives her his parents' number, and she makes fun of the fact that he lives with his parents. And he says, "They'll know how to get a hold of me." Also, at the bar, we get a very fun line where Oliver says, "I'll pay," and she's like, "I know." And he's like, "Well, you could have made a move, or at least pretended like you're going to pay and reach for your wallet." The playful nature of Emily taking Oliver's camera and snapping pictures of him, man, it just reminds me of those younger carefree times. I don't know if it's only me that finds this so relatable or if it's an everybody kind of thing, but big fan. Oliver says, "So," and Emily replies, "Don't, you'll ruin it." What an interesting day. The movie then pops up a graphic that says 3 years later, Emily is with another man, but she surely should be, since it is assumed she hasn't seen Oliver since that "don't ruin it" moment in New York. Emily got a call back for an audition. She is trying to be an actress. Before she can go in for the role, her dude breaks up with her She is heartbroken and can't focus during the script read. Emily talks with two of her friends, Michelle and Gina. Both friends dislike the writer Emily was seeing, or they at least say that now that he is out of the picture, that feels like how most breakups end up going. The person hurt you, and then boom, your friends never liked them to start with. It is New Year's Eve, and Emily calls up every guy that she has ever known for validation. She ends up calling Oliver's parents' house. We see he is packing up stuff, and Ellen attempts to use the phone. Wonderful sibling chaos. Emily asks Oliver out for coffee, and if this was a Marvel on Netflix show, we'd cut to another bathroom airplane scene style moment. Coffee was basically code for a hookup in that universe. Oliver and Graham have fun pretending as if Graham is Oliver when she opens the door to welcome him over. We learn that in the 3-year gap since last we saw these characters, Graham and Carol got married thanks to some dialogue. The writing is so well done, both smooth and informative. When Graham takes off and Oliver steps into Emily's place, she makes her move, and well, she considered going full Marvel on Netflix, but then stopped and tells him that's not what this is, since she clearly is acting just a bit nuts. He looks around for her crazy pills. They end up going to dinner and before they go out for coffee, which to me feels a little strange, but whatever. It is what it is. Emily doesn't want to talk about her breakup, and so Oliver gives her the silent treatment, and she thinks that this is also a good idea, so she starts not talking to him also. With Oliver's brother being deaf, he has gone days without talking, so she pretends to choke, but inevitably gives up and explains the whole situation. Since Oliver wasn't buying the choking act, they do end up going to get coffee, and Oliver tells Emily her acting classes are paying off when she reaches for her wallet to pay, but he ends up buying anyway because he's a good dude and she wasn't actually pretending. In an alley, they both change before going to the New Year's Eve party Michelle and Gina had been talking about earlier with Emily. While changing, Oliver says, "I must know, what was strike one?" It turns out he got his first strike before they ever met, since in her mind, strike one was Oliver not making a move. Women. At the party, Emily's friends are very fond of how pretty Oliver is. He calls his sister from the party to mess with her, saying that Eminem is at this big Hollywood place hitting on him. Emily sees Peter, her now ex-boyfriend, the writer, and she is super jealous, so Oliver tells her to put her hands on his butt to make Peter jealous also. As the New Year countdown comes to a close, Oliver kisses Emily. Thank you for being here at Mr. Super Oz. This video is going out, and this channel only exists because I, Oz, founded Gamble Comics, which first release was Everlasting Survivors, a 68-page graphic novel called All Day Long. Available now. Follow the link in the description that will take you to gamblecomics.com. While there, you can get hats, shirts, posters, much, much more, but most importantly, the story itself. Coming soon from Gamble Comics, B.C. Brute. They end up back at his home when he opens the door. A very drunk Emily says, "You've been robbed." He then reminds her of an earlier conversation they had about him moving to San Francisco in the morning. Drunk Emily falls asleep in the bathroom. I feel like every guy has known a girl that this has happened to. Or again, maybe I'm just projecting because so many things within this feel familiar to me. When the morning comes and Emily wakes up, Oliver is gone, but he left her his camera, the one she wasted his film taking pictures of him with in New York years ago, because yesterday she had seen a picture he had framed and she was flattered that he thought so highly of the picture she took of them together. When we see that she is happy with the camera, another time jump happens, which says 2 years. Oliver is now in a relationship with Moon Bloodgood, who is playing Bridget. Big fan of this actress. She is so pretty, but here the character is very not happy. Bridget breaks it off with Oliver. When we catch up with Emily, she is clearly in a good place, playfully flirting with a dude at a record store. It turns out that Emily has met the guy, Ben, before at her friend's wedding. So that might help with the whatever it is to come with them. Back with Oliver and his business partner, Kal Penn, who is playing a character named Jeter. He's so ready to spend money for their business, their dot-com boom business, their diaper rush, a delivery service for new parents, even before they have money in the door. When Emily comes home from taking pictures for her friend's kid's party, Oliver is outside her place. Emily is so surprised that Oliver is at her house, she pretends to go to the bathroom and calls her friend out of excitement. Oliver's story about his breakup with Bridget is rather sad. She can't be his number 3 or number 4 priority. She can be number 2, so long as selling diapers isn't his number 1 priority. Kind of harsh, especially if that business is something that is financially feasible. I'm not sure. Oliver, I assume it is because it's something so common. Oliver asks Emily her feelings on pancakes, and she says, I'm pro pancakes. So they go to a diner, but Gina is with Peter, and now everything is awkward, and so Emily and Oliver leave and go for a drive instead of getting pancakes. Even though they're separated from that awkward situation, Emily is having all the road rage. Oliver changes the subject from Gina and Peter to him and Bridget, and he blames himself for not sticking to his plan. Emily, on the other hand, is not interested in hearing about Bridget or any of the not planned stuff, and she starts drowning out the story he's telling by singing along with the radio. Oliver continues to try and tell the Bridget story, then he eventually gives up and sings along with Emily. The best part about Oliver singing with the radio is that he is super terrible at it. I also love these two together. They stop at a gas station. Oliver buys all of the junk food. Emily pulls off the road and they drink wine together. In this moment, in this conversation, is when we get the closest to the title in the dialogue, when Oliver says that if it wasn't love, it was a lot like it. Emily and Oliver take a naked photo together with the stars moving in the background. The music in this thing, absolutely the best selections possible. I even bought the CD years ago. I'm not sure if it was precisely in 2005, but around the time of the movie releasing. The next morning, a park ranger wakes up the couple and insists that they get their clothes on and depart, because this place that they thought was just the middle of nowhere happens to be a national park. And so Oliver and Emily leave the park. On the way back, Oliver explains that he has a venture capital meeting in New York. As he is leaving her place, they make sure each other have both numbers this time, not just her having his parents' home number. As Emily hugs Oliver goodbye, she says, I met someone, and the look on his face makes me think that his thought was, how? We've been together. I love that he repeats back to her line from New York, don't, you'll ruin it, before he leaves to go to New York. The venture capital meeting was super stressful, but after it, Emily asks Oliver to take flowers to her mother's grave for her since she can't get to New York and it's her mom's birthday. Emily wants to know what kind of flowers Oliver brought to the grave, and he says blue, and Emily says blue is perfect, which hits me really hard since my mom's favorite color was blue. And yeah, I'm really into these two. Oliver can tell Emily is struggling, so he tells her a little Johnny joke and is able to lighten the mood, which was his intent. Oliver and Emily both clearly want to be together, but they don't know how to just be, not stubborn. On the flight back to California, Oliver meets Rachel from Suits, the future Duchess of something something. In San Francisco, Oliver and his partner Jeter get the capital influx for their .com business from New York, so that's very nice. We then jump to 1 year later, again, or another year passes. Diaper rush is a bust. Oliver is moving back to his parents' home. Seeing Oliver hug his mom hits me deep. My goodness, I miss my mother. While out walking, Oliver sees that park photo of himself and Emily naked hanging in a gallery. According to the lady working, he just missed the artist. He waits a while, but she never comes, so Oliver hangs out with Graham and his nephew at a beach. Oliver's family really helps to show the passage of time, since so much happens with them. Oliver ends up at Emily's place playing guitar and singing Bon Jovi as a callback to the first time that they met. Oliver says, "Emily, I'm flat broke. I don't have a job, I don't have a plan, and I'm probably 6 years too late. But will you give me back strike one?" He is devastated and says, "You're married." She replies, "Engaged." "When I'm an old man, I'll never have to wonder." Man, that's heavy stuff, Oliver. Heavy. I really understand that need to know that, give it a shot, try and make it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We then get that final graphic of 6 months later. While moving stuff around, Emily finds the film from the day she met Oliver. She develops the pictures, since that's her thing now, and sees how he took pictures of her before they even met, which makes her believe she was wrong all along. Oliver, in his own way, did make the first move, or was attempting to. Emily is so messed up, worrying that she made the wrong decision, that she has begun to smoke again. Emily is leaving her fiancé since she now thinks that she should have always been with Oliver. I mean, it's not said, but it's implied. Michelle, Emily's friend, or best pal really, tells her that she saw Oliver getting fitted for a tux and that she thinks he's getting married. Emily got Oliver's parents' address from information since she had their phone number, and when she arrives at the house, it is so alive that she can just walk in and no one minds. But when Emily sees Oliver in the tux, she second-guesses herself, turns around, walks away right into a glass door, and when she gets up and goes, Oliver tries to follow, and when they get outside, Emily says that I'm too late, and Oliver kisses Emily and tells her, "You're not too late. This isn't my wedding. This is actually Ellen, Oliver's sister's wedding." The sister, comes out and says, "Oliver is a dick. Let's start without him." And realistically, man, this thing was just so, like I said, relatable, fun, exciting. Like I said, I love this movie. It takes me to such a happy place. And yeah, I thoroughly recommend it. Come back all week. Thank you for tuning in. Later.